Humans are the only animals that drink milk. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would address this common line that people bring up. And I personally think it's comical because I am absurdly pro-dairy. All my videos, my channel, my stuff, I am super, super, super pro-dairy. I think dairy is a superfood. I think it's amazing for athletes. And I think even people argue, well, I'm lactose intolerant. We live in a world where this is not a problem. I get a little bloating from lactose, so I pretty much drink zero lactose milk. I do Greek yogurt, I do cheeses, I do all these things that have no lactose. So again, that's not an excuse in the modern world. Okay, it is not an excuse. So when people mention the lactose intolerance, it's like, no, I don't want to hear it. Because I have no trouble eating 2,000 calories a day, sometimes from dairy, while getting no lactose. It's perfectly easy to do. All right, so that part aside, it's such a strange thing to say because people say that, because we milk animals and other animals. And it's like, well, they would drink it if they could, right? They would drink it if they could, all right? And I don't think people understand that or accept that or realize that. Other animals, if they could, they would totally drink milk. It's because they don't have the ability. Right, so that is really a super ridiculously silly thing to say, because as if that has anything to do with what is healthy. Okay, you know what? Other animals don't fly in airplanes. Does that mean you will never fly? Oh, I can't fly in an airplane. If you don't have wings, you don't get to fly. It's just not natural. Okay. I mean, that's the level of logic here. It really is the level of logic. Well, you don't have wings, didn't sprout wings, and you're not a flying animal, then don't get in an airplane. Okay? Don't get in an airplane. Or here's another one. No other animal makes and uses antibiotics. Right? Just not natural, guys. When you get a major infection, if your immune system doesn't fight it off, you just lose your arm or your leg or you die. That's what's supposed to happen. That's the natural order of things. Other animals don't use antibiotics. They just die if the infection gets too bad. Okay? So, it's ridiculous. I mean, that's the same level of logic. So, again, why wouldn't you consume dairy because of that? Hey, dairy is phenomenal. And look at the other things people say. Well, dairy has been linked to these cancers. Is it really? Show me the data. Because we had a major meta-analysis done on dairy. And you know what they found in general? That across the board for 90% of types of cancers, there was no correlation at all found between any intake of dairy or type of dairy and a positive or negative effect on cancer. They found for one type of cancer, they found a correlation. And again, we have to have correlation before you get into causation. Because if there's no correlation, we don't even bother to look for why it's doing it. So they found a small correlation between men who drink the largest amount of whole milk, not other dairy. Okay, not cheese, not yogurt, not lower fat milk. All of those, none of those. Only one type of dairy was associated with cancer, and it was only prostate cancer. That's it. So there was a correlation in that major meta-analysis. The only link they found was whole milk in large amounts was correlated with higher rates of prostate cancer. Now, it was still less than 1% of men got it, by the way, or it was like 1.5. So what they found is that the men who drink large amounts of whole milk, it was something massive, like 1.5% of them developed prostate cancer versus 1% of men who had different intakes of dairy. But that's a significant correlation, okay? They also found multiple types of cancers that yogurts and some other fermented and cultured dairy seem to be correlated with significant reduced cancers. So good news for the women, they were mostly women cancers, breast cancer, uterus cancer. Okay, so their only concern in the meta-analysis that maybe Men who are prone to prostate cancer, like genetically prone to it in their family, should probably not drink enormous amounts of whole milk. Like, don't do the whole go mad thing, guys. And if we were to take that same correlation, there's possible reason to believe that women would probably be wise to consume more yogurt and cultured dairies, and I think it was some types of cheeses too. It was correlated with lower rates of breast and uterus cancer. So good news for the women. And so there were no cancers in women that were correlated with more cancer. Like no dairy, zero, nothing. Only men, and only one type. So what's the counter response to people? Well, but what about the fat? It makes baby cows and other stuff grow. Okay, but we still deal with calories in, calories out. Okay? I want people to remember also, humans have a higher metabolic rate than other animals, by the way. Are people unaware of that? Did you know that humans, pound for pound, per unit of body weight, do you know that humans have a higher resting metabolic rate than every other animal? Every other major large animal, mammal, reptile, fish. The next closest behind us are other primates, like chimpanzees and things, but we exceed them. We have the highest resting metabolic rate. Okay? Dairy has never been correlated with obesity in humans. You can make that argument all you want. Well, it's from baby cows and there's carbs and fat. Okay. But there's no evidence to support this. It's not been correlated. People are not getting fat because they're eating Greek yogurt. In fact, we've generally found high dairy intakes are correlated with fat loss. More so in women than in men, by the way. In men too, but it was more pronounced. So the studies have been looking at this for 20 years. They've been doing studies for 20 years finding this stuff. So we've seen the opposite. Dairy intake is usually inversely correlated with obesity, and it's stronger in women than in men. You guys see where we're going with this? It's like really, it's like, it seems like dudes should be at least slightly more concerned. When you start looking at any study on women in dairy, it's kind of like, man, milk really does body good for the ladies. High dairy intakes, or especially lower fat dairies, are correlated with weight loss and fat loss in women and better muscle retention, so better body fat percentage in women, okay? Some of them are correlated with reducing the cancer specific to women. You see where we're going? It's kind of like, ladies, maybe dairy is really a great idea for you. Less cancer and better body composition. Literally helps you get leaner and helps prevent breast and uterus cancer. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that sounds like a good thing to me. Sounds like a good thing to me. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.